Welcome to Empower this evening. I'm glad you have joined us today. This is a program that focuses on people and workplace. Welcome. Today we have a guest by the name Nancy. Nancy, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Nancy Mudongo. I am a HR professional. Passionate about the field, passionate about people. I currently work with SMEs at Wizen HR Services, where we offer HR services to SMEs. Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome today.
Thank you.
Last week, we were discussing about interviews, and we looked at how employers handle interviews and how potential employees also are expected to handle interviews when they are called. And after any interview process, we finally get the right person to hire or the most preferred person to hire. When this person comes into the workplace, we should have a great start. And that is our discussion today. I want to encourage you to keep talking to us, keep writing to us. We have our numbers down on the screen. You can write to us, also interact with us on our social platforms. So when someone joins an organization, they have expectations. Yeah. The employer also has an expectation.
That's true.
And two people can never work together unless they agree. So as an employer, Nancy, what would you do to ensure this person comes in and settles in well?
I think first and foremost, the key is having proper processes and procedures and a properly outlined onboarding process.
Yes.
Just so that they can be familiar with the environment. You know, small things actually, you'll be surprised that the ones that frustrate new employees.
Yes.
They know where to get tea. You know, do I know where the print room is? Very small things, but they are the housekeeping rules that help an employee settle in quickly. And also just been very clear about the expectations. What do you expect from you in the first 30 days?
Yes.
What do you expect in the first 90 days? When are we going to review these milestones? So I believe as an employer, it is very important to be clear on what your expectations are and put a time period to those expectations. Yeah.
So maybe for someone who has heard you say onboarding process, and they've not heard it before, I'm a new employer, I've started my business, I have people on board. So what is this? How would you define that?
So onboarding process is simply, let me use our African context. When we attend a wedding or a function at someone's house and we are told karibuni, if you want to use the washrooms or if you want to if you want drinking water, you'll get it at this and this place. So that's basically the same thing in the workplace, where we tell this individual that welcome, this is who we are, this is how we do things. Say on Fridays, you'll find that at midday, everyone is packing their bags because we work half day. It's just simply explaining to the new employee how the organization or how the company works. If they want a salary advance, how they're going to go about asking for it. It's just simply how we live. You know, like in the house, when you get a new house help, the way you take them through how they're supposed to conduct themselves. That's what we are referring to as the onboarding process in simple.
Wow, that is very nice. Because everybody comes in and there's a lot of expectations. And as an employer, I have a bit to play. So that this person can be able to settle. Because as long as this person does not understand how we do things, what is expected of them, then again, this person is going to be struggling and they don't settle in fast. Now, employers have expectations.
Agreed.
That they look forward to this employee bringing on board. So, in a general way, any employer expects something from an employee. So, how would you say?
I'd say that it is, I mean, I brought you on board to do something, so the expectation has to be there. And I believe the key thing here is to make sure that you've been understood by the new employee, you know, that they've understood, so you can actually go back and say after a week, are we still on course with the expectations that I laid out, because we are paying you to do something.
Okay, you're saying when I come in as an employee, the employer has expectations that this employee needs to meet. What are these expectations that any employer would have regarding the employee? So
basically they are what we call the onboarding milestones. Let me start with that. So in the first 90 days, you're on probation. So first of all, we've given you a contract, but we need to be sure that you can do the job.
Yes.
So for that specific period, the employer ideally, I would think, depending on the industry or on the company, they will expect that there are certain things you're supposed to have delivered.
Yes.
So for example, in our HR field, if say there is medical that needed to be renewed, you know, if there are contracts that were pending,
yes.
I'll expect you to have done that in a specific period of time. So that I'll say is highly dependent on the industry. Say if I'm running a logistics business,
Yes.
my expectations in that context will be different. But the most important thing is to put a time frame to them.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm looking at when someone comes in, as an employer, I already have ideas.
Yeah.
I already have what I want this person to come and accomplish. And if I don't communicate that, then this person is going to do, they just come, they are not settled, they're just worried, we are not working together.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to work together in this journey of employee-employer relationship, we need to be very clear what this person is supposed to do, and that is communicated. And that is why, for example, if you have a HR department that will come in, they'll work together with the managers concerned, the person is given the roles, maybe if it's a job description is clearly put in place, so that this person understands. And actually, they should be able to even sign it off, that
Agreed.
I understand.
Yeah, agreed,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, because you can go on.
And to also avoid paying someone for doing nothing.
Yes.
You know, I've seen that happen. So as an employer, if you're not clear on your expectations,
Yes.
you'll have someone who's always coming in, going round, eating lunch, and going home in the evening, and you're paying them at the end of the month, and you
Yes.
don't really know what you're paying them to do. So yeah, I agree with you. That is key. But also, like we said again, as an employee, if you're given expectations, especially for that period, because you know the initial 3 months determine whether we are confirming you or not. They determine whether we are keeping you or not. So I'll also encourage an employee, if you're given expectations that you strongly feel are too ambitious, and I'll also request the employer to also understand that this individual is also settling in. You know, there's that period where I'm still figuring out the company, trying to figure out what is going on. So also as an employee, there is an expectation for you to be vocal about what you've been given and say whether you cannot meet them or not, and what challenges you possibly foresee. You know, just thinking ahead, looking at the risks just so that they can be mitigated, as opposed to us getting to the end and we are not confirming you and we don't know why.
And it ended up being a frustration, especially to the employee. And also the employer becomes frustrated because you keep hiring people and they are going. Reason being, you never clearly stipulated your expectations.
Exactly.
Because for us to walk a journey together, I need to know where am I going, where am I heading, what is expected of me, you know, so that we can walk together. And also when it comes to an employer, the employer also need to, other than the job description, these 3 months, for example, the probation period, it's not just doing some milestones. I'm supposed to also to train this person. Do I allocate this person to someone to work with? Do I do it myself? For example, if I'm a new person, it's a new business, I'm the one who has the business in mind. So I understand what the business I require from you. So I can do that myself. But in a big organization, then you have people that are supposed to do that. So,
and the other key thing is I encourage employees to also ask what is in it for them. You know, so I've worked into this company. Also, as an employee, also have your own plan. You know, don't just work with the employer's plan, like you're simply following someone else's plan. You know, have a plan. So I've come in here. What's my plan? Am I here for the next 2, 3, 4 years? What do I want to have achieved as an employee as well within that period? And if there's something that is dependent on the employer, also approach them and tell them, I want to build this skill within the next year, and I believe that you can support me in this way. You know, just because it's your career, you know, it's your career that we're talking about. So I also highly encourage employees to also just be very bold about what it is they want. And to also just challenge, you know, challenge whatever they feel that maybe this we can do better, or we can improve it in this way, or be innovative about it. So yeah, it's a two-way conversation as I see it. And in the past, it has majorly been a one-way conversation for the employer. This is what I expect from you as an employee. But the HR world is changing, you know, and it's also very key to just know what you want as an employee. You know, are you simply working for the sake of it, or do you actually believe in yourself so much that you want to grow and be better in so many ways? Yeah.
Beautiful. So as an employer, you have a responsibility to clearly communicate the expectations.
Yeah.
It becomes very unfair for you to come and assess an employee and actually the expectations were not well stipulated or communicated. So it is very, very important when an employee comes on board. We want them to have a great start. We want them to be happy working with you for a long time. We want them to enjoy serving in that organization for a certain period of time. This can only happen if your expectations are well communicated, they are well understood by the employee, and they look forward to serve you for the longest time. So after, we are going to take a break. After the break, we are going to come and see what are the expectations of the employee. What are the expectations of the employee? Because the employee also has expectations. And as we said, for us to walk this journey, then we need to agree. Because even the Bible says so. Two cannot work together unless they agree. So after we understand the expectations of the employer, after we understand the expectations that they are presenting to you as an employee, what do I expect as an employee? And after we hear what the employee and the employer are expecting, how do they balance? Because we are looking for a win-win situation. So please don't go far. Keep talking to us on our WhatsApp, on our Facebook. Keep talking to us on the numbers below the screen, and please don't go away.